history. Hello dear listeners, here is today in history for 1st of September 1715. Louis XIV, also known as the Sun King, who ascended the French throne at age 5 and ruled France for the next 72 years. Today in history.
Don't forget, coronavirus is a symptomatic illness. The most common symptoms are fever, exhaustion, a sore throat, dry cough, and gasping. So what can we do for protection against the coronavirus? We should wash our hands with ample water and soap for at least 20 seconds. When there is no water or soap, we should clean our hands with sanitizers or alcohol. Do not touch your nose, mouth, and eyes with unwashed hands. Avoid contact with infected people. We should cover our mouth as we sneeze or cough with a single-use paper towel or the inside of our elbow. Avoid the crowds. The vaccine for this virus has yet to be found, but there are measures of protection. The best way to survive the illness is to not getting the illness in the first place.
Did you know that? Did you know that there is a stork village in Turkey? The village of Essex, which is 44 kilometers away from the western Turkish city of Bursa, was selected in 2011 by the European Natural Heritage Foundation as the Stork Village. The title was given to the village for meeting the criteria of being an environment-friendly village and providing the sufficient conditions for agriculture and storks' livelihood. The village of Essex is the only village in Turkey representing the country in the European Stork Villages Network. Storks begin to visit the village every year in June, and they complete their incubation and hatching processes in this village. The village hosts 30 to 40 storks every year, and there is certain work being carried out around Lake Ulubat to decrease human-related stork deaths. All stork families and their numbers and other related data about them have been recorded in a system developed in and around the observatory located in the area.
Vaccine for this virus has yet to be found, but there are measures of protection. The best way to survive the illness is to not getting the illness in the first place.
Today in history.
gentlemen, hello. The Voice of Turkey presents the Today in History. Here is Today in History for September the 2nd. On September the 2nd, 1938, Hatay State People Assembly.
Greece has attempted to illegally restrict Turkey's maritime territory, trying to collapse it into the shores based on small Greek islands near the Turkish coast. Turkey has argued the sides should instead sit down for dialogue to reach a win-win solution. And now, review of the Turkish press. HamItUp says President Erdogan had a video conference with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Erdogan said certain countries' support for the selfish and unfair attitude of Greece is unacceptable, and that Turkey would defend her own rights anytime and anywhere against initiatives that violate international law. Vatan says NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg made statements about Turkey, Greece, and Eastern Mediterranean. Stoltenberg said, I talked with leaders of Greece and Turkey, and both countries agreed to set up mechanisms to prevent military conflict in Eastern Mediterranean and to start technical talks with NATO to minimize the risks for accidents. Sabah says Foreign Ministry made a statement about NATO Secretary General's initiative about Eastern Mediterranean. Turkey is ready for talks without preconditions for the sake of fair and lasting solutions in line with international law. Turkey encourages Greece to support the initiative. Hürriyet says Professor Mehmet Öz became the first guest of American-Turkish Association's webinar series about COVID-19. Mehmet Öz says Turkey has been applying the right protocols in the fight against COVID and has been taking care of the elderly better than other countries. Star says US-based geopolitical risk counseling company Gulfscape Analytics claims Turkey's 320 billion cubic meters of natural gas discovery in the Black Sea indicates that there are bigger reserves in the region. And that was the review of the Turkish press. And now, review of the foreign media.
Turkey has constantly opposed Greece's efforts to declare an exclusive economic zone based on small islands near Turkish shores, violating the interests of Turkey, the country with the longest coastline in the Mediterranean. Ankara has also said energy resources near the island of Cyprus must be shared fairly between the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus and the Greek Cypriot administration of the south. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has said the only solution to the dispute lies through dialogue and negotiation to reach a win-win deal for sharing, and has urged Athens to respect Turkey's rights. Turkey's priority is to ensure stability in Libya by protecting its political unity and territorial integrity, the country's leader, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, reiterated on Sunday. President Erdogan and the visiting Libyan Prime Minister Faisal Sarraj met in Istanbul, discussing developments in Libya, bilateral relations, and regional issues, according to a statement issued by Turkey's Directorate of Communications. During the meeting, Erdogan underscored that Turkey and Libya will continue to be in solidarity. It also said that Turkish President underlined the peace and tranquility to be achieved in Libya will benefit the whole region, especially neighboring countries and Europe. Erdogan also said the international community should also assume a principled stance in this regard. The meeting, which lasted 2.5 hours, addressed the steps to protect the rights of Turkey and Libya in the Eastern Mediterranean and terms to strengthen the cooperation under the signed deal between the two countries as well. Turkey's defense minister on Monday will meet with the head of the NATO military committee. Turkish Defense Minister Hulusi Akar and NATO's short pitch will gather at the National Defense Minister building in the capital Ankara. The meeting comes after NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg announced Friday that the talks had started between Turkey and Greece to resolve tensions over the East Mediterranean. On Thursday, Stoltenberg had said that Ankara and Athens agreed to enter into technical talks at NATO to reduce the risk of incidents and accidents in the Eastern Mediterranean, which the Greek government denied later on. Turkey on Sunday urged Kosovo against opening an embassy in Jerusalem, saying doing so would undermine United Nations resolutions and hurt the Palestinian cause. We call on the leadership of Kosovo to abide by these United Nations decisions, to refrain from such steps that would undermine the historical and legal status of Jerusalem and may also prevent Kosovo from being recognized by other states in the future, the Turkish Foreign Ministry said in a statement. The statement cited various United Nations resolutions, underlining that the Palestinian issue can only be solved with an independent, sovereign, and geographically continuous Palestinian state that is capable in East Jerusalem, based on the pre-1967 borders. On Saturday, Kosovo President Hashim Thaçi tweeted, "I welcome the announcement of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about the genuine intention to recognize Kosovo and establish diplomatic relations. Kosovo will keep its promise to place its diplomatic mission in Jerusalem." Turkey said it was disappointing that the majority Muslim state is considering such a step, which would constitute a clear violation of international law. Turkey, one of the first countries to recognize Kosovo in 2008, has given wholehearted support for Kosovo's international recognition, the statement added. And that was the news brought to you by the Voice of Turkey. And now, the Voice of Turkey presents the review of the Turkish press. Sabah headlines: a critical Libya summit held between Erdogan and Sarraj in reporting a meeting took place in Istanbul.
The news continues on the English language broadcast of the Voice of Turkey.
India's coronavirus infections surpassed 4.7 million. The number of India's coronavirus infections has crossed the 4.7 million mark after the country recorded more than 94,000 new cases, according to Health Ministry figures.
Turkey. Gentlemen, hello. The Voice of Turkey presents the foreign press. RIA Novosti. Russian Su-27 fighter were intercepted as a U.S. reconnaissance plane over the Baltic Sea. RGRU.
In history.
Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to the program Today in History. On 16 September 1890, Patrol Frigate drowned off the Japanese shores of Kashimato.
in history.
Don't forget, coronavirus is a symptomatic illness. The most common symptoms are fever, exhaustion, a sore throat, dry cough, and gasping. So what can we do for protection against the coronavirus? We should wash our hands with ample water and soap for at least 20 seconds. When there is no water or soap, we should clean our hands with sanitizers or alcohol. Do not touch your nose, mouth, and eyes with unwashed hands. Avoid contact with infected people. We should cover our mouth as we sneeze or cough with a single-use paper towel or the inside of our elbow. Avoid the crowds. The vaccine for this virus has yet to be found, but there are measures of protection. The best way to survive the illness is to not getting the illness in the first place.
Bende bir aşk var, onu hep yanlış kalplere bıraktım. Bende bir aşk var, onu soğuk yataklarda harcadım.
On decreed power excessive greed, egoism, monopolization of power, and the desire to continue colonialism using new methods is the biggest obstacle to justice spreading in the global system. Failure to accept corruption in various parts of the world, especially in Syria, Palestine, Yemen, Afghanistan, is proof of this. Despite the guidelines that have been set out, the United Nations system can neither prevent conflicts nor end those that are already underway. Erdogan said in order to re-empower the United Nations system, first, the UN Security Council, with its traditional 5 permanent members, must be reformed. A council with a structure that leaves the fate of 7 billion people at the mercy of 5 countries is not fair, and it is not sustainable either. A council architecture that is democratic, transparent, accountable, effective, and based on an equitable representation has become a necessity rather than a choice for humanity, he said. I believe that strengthening and revitalizing the United Nations General Assembly will contribute to finding solutions to our problems, he added. Establishing a UN center in Istanbul, both as commercial capital and the crossroads of continents, will also support global peace and stability efforts, he said. Erdogan said that Turkish Ambassador Volkan Bozkır, senior diplomat and politician presiding over the current 75th United Nations General Assembly, presented an opportunity to the international community and was also a source of pride for Turkey. I would like to thank you for the kind consideration you have shown to Turkey on our last occasion. I would like to state once Turkey neutralized 4 YPG PKK terrorists who were attempting to infiltrate into anti-terror operation zone in northern Syria. The National Defense Ministry said on Tuesday the U.S. Forces Commando neutralized 4 terrorists over the past 24 hours with their attempts to enter the Operation Peace-Free Zone. Turkish commandos continue to take every precaution for the peace and security of Syrian people in this peace-free region, about it. Turkish authorities use the term neutralized to imply that terrorists in question surrendered or were killed or captured. Since 2016, Turkey has launched a trio of successful anti-terror operations across its border in northern Syria to prevent the formation of a tunnel corridor and to enable the peaceful settlement of residents. The Euphrates Shield 2016, Order Burns 2018, and finally the Peace Spring 2019. In its more than 30-year terror campaign against Turkey, the PKK, an organization listed as terrorist by Turkey, the US, and the EU, has been responsible for the deaths of nearly 40,000 people, including women, children, and infants. To you by the Voice of Turkey. About 2 quotes Erdogan about the UN. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan sent a video message to a high-level meeting on the occasion of the 75th anniversary of the United Nations.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Today is Thursday, 24th day of September 2020. This is the Voice of Turkey and you're listening to the news. Turkey keeps prudent and calm attitude despite Greece's provocations and rising tension in the region, the Turkish president said on Wednesday. Recep Tayyip Erdogan's remarks came during a phone conversation with NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg about the situation in the Eastern Mediterranean and the relationship between Turkey and NATO. Erdogan said the course of exploratory talks would depend on the sincere steps to be taken by Greece in an effort to ease the tension. He said Turkey is in favor of dialogue and reducing tension in the Eastern Mediterranean, and his country has made it clear not only by rhetoric but by its actions. Stoltenberg said on Twitter, spoke with President Erdogan about the situation in the Eastern Mediterranean and the ongoing efforts NATO for military deconfliction to avoid incidents and accidents, said about the conversation on Twitter. Both Turkey and Greece are valued allies, and NATO is a platform for dialogue, he added. Greece, with France's support, has disputed Turkey's energy exploration, trying to box in Turkish maritime territory based on small islands near the Turkish coast. Turkey, the country with the longest coastline on the Mediterranean, has sent drill ships with a military escort to explore for energy on its continental shelf, saying Turkey and the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus have rights in the region. To reduce tensions, Ankara has called for dialogue to ensure fair sharing of the region's resources. Turkey finances the lion's share of the UN budget among European nations, while it is the largest contributor among Middle Eastern countries, according to the latest figures from the World Bank.